हरि ओम् सर्वेभ्यो नमस्कारः अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम् ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. So we are on the first sutra of Brahma Sutra, where we completed in the last 2-3 classes the first word atha shabda. Tasmat atha shabdena yetokta sadhana sambatya anandaryam upadishyate. Anandaryam. So it is to show the succession thereafter is the way in which this word, the word atha, has been indicated in the sutra. Because in the sutras what happens is that the very nature of sutra is to indicate a lot of message by uttering one word. That one word, if it is heard by the student, he will immediately recollect the entire explanation given by his guru regarding that word. So therefore, the benefit of sutra is that we can compress a lot of philosophy or a lot of subject by uttering few words. That is why sutram, the word, the meaning of the sutra itself is being given here. So having completed the atha shabda, anandaryam, now the second word is ataha. Atha and ataha are the two different words. The ataha word, ataha shabda, hetu arte, means as a causality. Here it is a succession. The word is different, the second alphabet is different in Sanskrit. Here the second Sanskrit, the alphabet is different. Therefore, atha shabda hetu arte implies the causality. Now, what causality is what we are talking about here? Yasmad Veda eva agnihotradinam shreyas sadhananam nitya phalatam darshayati. Tadya atha iha karmachito loka shiyate evameva amutra punyachito lokaha shiyate ityadi. So we are referring to the Chandogya Upanishad mantra of where the 8th chapter, first section, 6th mantra. What did he say? Yata iha, just as tata yata iha, just as in this world, karmachita lokaha, those who have done the karmas or the as instructed by the Veda, in this loka, shiyate is getting diminished, because the rule of cause and effect is that a cause, which is a karma, generates a effect, which is a karya or a phala. Now what happens is that when the effect is being consumed, that gets diminished in nature. So this diminishing nature of the results of action is what is being indicated by karmachito lokaha shiyate, in this world. Iha means in this world. Evameva, in the same manner. Amutra means the worlds hereafter, after the death, because in this Agnihotradi, what is saying that Swarga Kamo Yajeta, one who wants heaven has to do a yajna. So the effect is that this yajna which you have done here now, the phala or the result or the karya doesn't come immediately. That is stored for you in a world different from this world. So after death, when you go to the world, these fruits of actions will be waiting for you in those world for you to consume. But what Upanishad says is that there is no difference between this world and that world. That world may be having a different experiences altogether, of a different nature altogether, but there also, since it is a product of a cause and effect, the effect will get diminished as you consume it. So evam atra amutra punyachito loka. Punyachita means one who have gained lot of punya or the good results of good action. Lokaha chiyate. There also there this thing gets diminished. Ityadi. See, these are the words. What see? It is being, why it is being mentioned. Sadhananam nitya phalatam darshayati, anitya phalatam darshayati. All the activities have got an immortal nature of the results. It is not immortal in nature. And sreyaha, whatever may be the good in it, it is not going to last forever. Tada, the same way, brahmajnanadapi param purushartham darshayati. Brahmavid apnodi param, Taittiriya Upanishad, ityadi. Tasmat yetokta sadhana sampatyanandaram brahma jitnyasa kartavya. Therefore, Brahmavid apnodi param, the one who knows Brahma. Brahmavid means one who knows Brahman, the knower of Brahman. Apnodi param means he reaches the highest attainable thing. It is not a status or a position or anything. When he becomes one with Brahmavid, Brahmaiva bhavati is the mantra from another Upanishad. He becomes Brahma himself or the Brahman himself. What is Brahman? Everything is what is seen as a multiplicity. Is the word Brihat is coming from the word the Brahma is coming. So therefore, apnodi means, actually the word apnodi means percolates or pervades is the meaning for it. So one who knows the Brahmavid, apnodi param means he attains, pervades the maximum or the ultimate pervading. That means he has no distinction between himself and the rest of the thing, because he pervades through everything. Therefore, tasmat yata ukta sadhana sampatti anandaram. So sadhana sampatti anandaram, which we saw, there are four things: viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shatka sampatti, mumukshutva. After attaining all these things, this is where the anantaryam or the causality of this thing, Brahma jitnyasa kartavya, is the hetu, is for that hetu or the cause why there should be a Brahma jitnyasa. There should be a, in a desire to know Brahma. Kartavya means to inquire into Brahma. So there the jitnyasa word becomes from desire to know. That is why the kartavya word is used. So when it is a stage what is being. Now what is Brahma jitnyasa? In the typical thing, there is a usage of grammar, usage establishment given in these texts, because those days the discussions were with pandits or those who are well versed in the Sanskrit language, and they need the words to have its proper meaning. So they insist on the correct grammar, prepositions and the usage to be defined when you are using a word. So Brahma jitnyasa is the word one which is now has been used in the sutra. Athato Brahma jitnyasa. So what is this Brahma jitnyasa? Brahmano jitnyasa, Brahma jitnyasa. Brahmanaha means is acquisitive thing. Jitnyasa is deliberation or desire to know, is what is called Brahma jitnyasa. Now this is a compound word. Brahma, Jitnyasa, there are two words, and the Brahma is becoming of Brahma. Brahmana, the moment you make it as Brahmana means of Brahma. Jitnyasa, desire to know about Brahma, of Brahman, is what the meaning is. The way Brahmacha vakshyamana lakshanam janmadyataha iti. In the Brahma, what is Brahma? First he has to define what is Brahma before he goes to the case, sixth case. Brahma is vakshyamana lakshanam. In the second sutra, Brahma has been explained by the sutra janmadi yasya yataha is the sutra for it. The Brahman in that is being defined in the second sutra. So he is not going to define what is Brahma here. He just mentioned that Brahma is mentioned in the second sutra because that is the one which is to be desired to be known, because that is the jitnyasa or jnatum ichha for the Brahman. Ata eva na Brahma shabdasya jatyadi arthanandaram asangitavyam. Hence there should not be any misinterpretation of the word sense of Brahma as not as a Brahmana from the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It is not talking about that word Brahma, because the Brahma word here, Jitnyasa, Brahmana Jitnyasa, see, is it as a Brahmana Jitnyasa? Right, this is the way in which is it talking about the caste? No, it should not be taken that way is what it is being said. Brahmana iti karmani shashti na sheshe. Jitnyasasya apekshatva jitnyasayaha jitnyasa andara nirdesha cha. The reason why it is being sixth case, Brahmana, is what is to be used here is that there are two forms in which the sixth case can come. There are many ways, but he is now taking over the two cases. One is shesha. Shesha means where a relationship is being defined, which is again by the sixth case ending. The desire and the Brahma as a vastu, is there any relationship between these two, is one way of looking at it. So he says na sheshe. That is not the case. Here karmani shashti is to be used, mean it is to be used as an object of desire. So that is why the relationship is not what is being the purpose of this study. It is the object or the thing into which it has to be inquired. So that is the grammar part of it. So that the opponent now takes up an opposite this thing statement that nanu shesha shashti parigrahe api brahmano jitnyasa kartatvam na virudyate sambandha samanyasya vishesha nishtatvad. Now even if he is saying that, so you are saying karmani shashti as an object, but even if you take it as a relationship for the understanding of Brahma by sambandha samanyam, because the common nature in which it is that whether you even in object also the desire to know object is also of the same thing, whether it is karmani or whether it is shesha shashti. It's a grammatical vishesha nishtatvat is a general relationship only what we are talking about. Evamapi pratyaksham brahmana kartrutvam utsrujya samanyadvarena paroksham karmatvam kalpayato vyarstha prayasah syat. So what that Vedantin says, even then it involves a useless effort to give a Brahman as a direct object and fancy to be through the general relationship. Even though it's an object, it cannot be treated like any other object. Because of that, there is no relationship for Brahma. Brahma is unrelated, asangaha. There is no way it can have a relationship with which it can be made it. No, I mean the relationship can be brought in as that. So the opponent says that na vartaha, it is not useless. Brahma ashrida ashesha vichara pradijnanarthatvad iti chet is asking a now question, because it is sought to imply there that there must be a desire to know on everything associated with women is kept in the view. That what he says is that the sixth case is, if you say it is a common aspect of for anything which is desired, but Brahma ashrita, what is dependent on Brahma, is what should be taken. It can also be ashesha vicharaha pradijanarthatvad iti chet. Is asking a question that whether it is, if that is the case, in that associated with the Brahman also, Vedantin says no, not so. Pradhana parigrahe tadapekshitanam arthakshipattat. Not because when the chief factor is taken in hand, the subsidiaries present themselves as it becomes by implied meaning, it is included in it. So when Brahma is being implied in the meaning, Brahma Jitnyasa, the Brahma with the related anything parigrahe, pradhana parigrahe tat apekshitan, whatever is dependent upon Brahma also becomes included in it. Now he gives an example for here is that when somebody says the king is going, when the king is going, nobody will take that the king is walking alone. When the king is going, the king goes along with the entourage, complete cavalry, etc., is being the same thing. So that is the way in which one should take it. The word is being used here. Brahma need not be the Brahma alone. That pradhana parigrahe tata apekshitanam, whatever is apeksha for that or dependency on that is taken by implication. Brahma iti jnanena aptum ishtatamatvad pradhanam. The ishtatamatvad, the most desired thing being Brahma, jnanena aptum, you can become Brahma with apnoti param, that mantra which you said read earlier. That shows the pradhan, that is the to be understood as the most desired object or all. Tasman pradhane jitnyasa karmani parigrihate. Now he is establishing why it is an object, not a relationship. Tasmin, it must be the chief factor. Yaihi jitnyasitaihi vina brahman jitnyasitam na bhavati tani arthashiptani iva iti pratak sutrayitavyani. Yahi jitnyasitaihi vina. When the chief factor is to be taken up as an object of deliberation, all other factors without an inquiry into which much deliberation on Brahman remains unaccomplished and become implied paripasu, and hence they need not be mentioned separately in part of aphorism. In the Sutra Yitavyan, for the Sutra, we should not include all the dependent things on the Brahman. It comes implied in the statement. So yaihi jitnyasitai, those who are having the jitnyasa, Brahma jitnyasitam vina na bhavati, they cannot happen without Brahma. The dependent things may be important, like yaga, meditation, dhyana, and all those things can be dependent upon the knowledge of Brahman, but that alone will not give you the knowledge of Brahman. The desire to know Brahman should be there. Therefore in the sutra, that is why the word arthakshipitani eva ita na prutak. Therefore the moment you say Brahma, the other aspects also will fall into place, right? So that is why he is saying that the word Brahma has to be taken as the mukhyartha. Therefore he says that we will look into this as Brahma as the most desired thing, and the dependent things will become on its own. Yatha rajasau gacchati, राजासौ गच्छति इत्युक्ते सपरिवारस्य राज्ञो गमनमुक्तं bhavati tadvat. This is the example which I was telling. This is just like that, where goes the king, where from that every statement it follows that the king goes with his retinue. So that same way, when they say Brahma Jitnyasa, the Brahmana Jitnyasa, with the word Brahman, it will include everything related to Brahma also. Shrutyanupagamacha. Now, this is where the Advaitin normally falls back on. All those places where Advaitin wants to establish a thing, he takes that it is based because the Shruti tells so. It is the Vedic texts which are the guidance in all our case, whether it is for Dharma Jitnyasa or for Brahma Jitnyasa. The dependency on the Shruti is the way in that. And this is to be accepted in order that may be accordance with the Shruti Vakya. What are the Shruti Vakya? Yato va imani bhutani jayante ityadyah shrutayah tad vinyasasva tad brahma iti pratyakshmeva brahmano jitnyasa karmatvam darshayati. Now there are two mantras from both are from Taittiriya. The mantras are the number is wrong. One is 9. Okay. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. From which imani, these bhutani, created world, jayante, comes out or is born, is the mantra which is starting yato va imani bhutani jayante tena jatani jivanti yat pravitya pisham vishanti tadeva brahmatvam viti tad vijnasasva tad brahma iti. Therefore, in that mantra, what it is says that they are giving a definition what is Brahma. Brahma is from which everything is coming up, everything is existing, and into which everything gets dissolved back. That is to be known as Brahma, is what the mantra says. Iti pratyaksham eva brahmano jitnyasa karmatvam darshayati. This is directly revealed the Brahman as the object for desiring, wishing to know that this should be known as the object of Brahman, or the desirable, most desirable object. Tacha karmani shashti parigrahe sutrena anugadam bhavati. Now this Upanishad and will be in line with the second month sutra which is going to come up, and therefore the sixth case entering it should be interpreted in the acquisitive sense by the sixth sense. That is why it is being shown it as the Brahmana Jitnyasa. Tasmat Brahmanaha iti karmani shashti. So therefore the grammatical aspect is being that it has to be taken as an object of desire, not as a related thing for the desire. So there is slight difference between these two. I'm not getting into that. There is a lot of sub-commentaries and sub-words. What is the difference between if you take relationship? What is the difference if you take as an object? What is the difference between these two? But ultimately both the cases is coming to one thing, that as Brahma is the most desirable object to be desired, because that is the from where the whole world is coming up, in which the whole world is existing, into which the whole world is dissolving. So if you know Brahma, you know the whole world, how it is coming, how it is existing, and into which it is dissolving. So all knowledge will become Brahma vidapnoti param. That is how you become pervading everything. That the Brahma by knowing Brahma, how do you pervade everything is happening, because you know the Brahma, which is from which the world comes, in which world they exist, and into which the world goes, dissolves. So by knowing that Brahma, which is the primordial thing, everything will be known. Jnatum icha jitnyasa, the desire to know, or I wish to know, is jnatum icha jitnyasa. So having this, what is Brahma in the Karmani Shashti, now he says that jitnyasa is jnatum icha. Avagati paryantam jnanam San Vachaya Ichaya Karma Phala Vishayatvad Ichayaha. So he is telling another grammar rule for the Jitnyasa word form. It is a sanantam means it is a suffix to a word jna. Jna means to know. To in that when you add a san pratyaya and there's a suffix, that wish, the impact implied by the word wish comes into the meaning of that. Know, wanting to know or wishing to know, it becomes the word for by the word jitnyasa. Otherwise jnanam is the object. Jnanam is the knowledge. Jna is to know. To know, with when you get an add that suffix san, then you get the word jitnyasa. That is a Sanskrit rule. Therefore the word san is used for the purpose ichhayaha karma. So there is the object of desire is the result. Jnanena hi pramanena avagantum ishtam brahma. So now he is putting those two things together. The desire being that Brahman be realized or uncovered by that knowledge which is a valid means of apprehension. Now here avagati or avagantum, avagamam, avagamanam is actually speaking the coming from the word knowing or understanding or realization. The word can be pramanena, by the proper means of knowing. Ishtam Brahma, the desired Brahma can be known jnanena hi, by means of knowledge alone can be realized. The knowledge and the realization is now being linked by this word. Jnanena hi pramanena avagantam ishtam Brahma. So you have the object of Brahma, you have a desire to know Brahma. Now what is the desire and the object is, how do you link it? How can the desire to and the object can be linked? Is the only way is by knowledge. That is the valid means of knowledge. Brahma avagati hi purushartha. That is the purushartha. Avagati means the knowledge or realization. The realization of Brahma is the highest objective of human endeavor. Nishesha samsara bija avidyadi anartha nibarhanat. So nishesha samsara bija, uprooted from the very seed of samsara, is means what is samsara? As per Shastra, samsara is birth and death is what is called samsara. The birth takes place and the death takes place. In between, whatever you are suffering is what is called the samsara. Now the death doesn't stop there. Unless it is released from that, you know that you don't have a birth or death. This cycle of birth and death is a feeling which we all go through as we identify with ourselves, with our body. Now this identification is a act of knowledge, but a wrongly placed knowledge that I am the body. So samsara bija comes from the avidyadi, by the ignorance that what is our true nature, and that is the anartha. Is the what is the causing all the calamities or all the problems for life, is being created due to the identification that I am a jiva samsari. For the removal of that nirvahanat, there is only one way, Brahma avagatihi purushartha. The only ways in which we can do that is to remove that wrong notion of avidya which is the reason why samsara bija is the cause of the transmigration is taking place in each one of us. Tasmat Brahma jitnyasidavyam. So the only way to get out from this cycle of transmigration of birth and death and the related problems of birth and life, everything is only can be known and can be circumvented or transmigrated or gone beyond that when you know that there is no real birth and death. For that, Brahma jitnyasitavya, you should know Brahma, because when you know Brahma, or when you know Brahma as that yada va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat pravritya visham vishanti tadeva brahmatvam, that is that Brahma from which the whole world is coming out, in which the whole world is sustained, and into which the whole world dissolves when they are not seen anymore. So the Brahma, once you know that as the cause, when you know the cause, everything made out of the cause is also known to you. If you know the nature of gold, you know all the ornaments, whatever may be the shape and form of the ornaments are there. Then the ornaments may appear to have a name and form, but you know the nature of the ornament is the gold, which has become now the ornaments. Mud has become the pots and other things, or water itself appearing as the cloud, the waves, the river, the stream, the ocean, everything. So same way, when we know Brahma as the Adhisthana, or from which everything is coming up, in which everything is existing and into which everything is dissolving, which includes the one who is thinking about or studying about Brahma or wanting to know Brahma, is included in that. So you are now, by knowing Brahma, you are knowing your own true nature. What is your true nature, or what is from which you are getting this, the knowledge or the consciousness or whatever we are feeling as I am, that knowledge, what is there in us, is coming from where we will know. Tasmat Brahma jitnyasidavyam. So this can be known only when you know what is Brahma, and that is why it has to be jitnyasitavyam. It should be the most desirable object for the freedom from this cycle of metamorphosis or transmigration of birth and death. So there the opponent is taking a question again. Tata punaha Brahma prasiddham aprasiddham va syad yadi prasiddham na jitnyasitavyam ata aprasiddham na evam shakyam jitnyasudam iti. So now the question comes, is that the Brahman which we are talking about a known thing? Prasiddham, familiar means prasiddham, known thing or unknown thing? If it is known, then why should there be a desire? Because you know what is Brahma, so there should not be a desire. To know Brahma is what you are talking about. If it is already known, how can you have a desire? And if you do not know, aprasiddham yata ata aprasiddham na eva shakyam jitnyasidam, if you do not see that there is no Brahma, you do not know about Brahma itself, therefore you cannot have a desire also. Because you will desire a thing only when you know it. Now the catch-22 situation is that if you know Brahma, there need not be a desire to know Brahma, because you already know Brahma. But if you do not know Brahma, how can you have a desire? Because desire can happen only for things which are known. Therefore there cannot be a desire, is what the opponent is saying. Uchyate. So the answer is given by Vedanti. Asti tavad Brahma nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhavam sarvajnam sarvashaktim samanvitam. The answer is that Brahman does exist as well as known to internally as Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Swabhavaha, Sarvajnam, Sarvashakti Samanyutam. It is that which is eternal pure, intelligent, and mukta svabhavaha, free by nature. By nature itself is free. It has never been attached or attracted or contained or contaminated or touched by anything. Sarvajnam, it is known, all-knowing. How? All-knowing, because it is that what is becoming everything. So when the gold is becoming an ornament, the gold need not know the ornament separately. It is the gold itself which is the ornament. The water does not have to know what is a cloud, because it knows water is what and the cloud is it. They need not know separately. And Sarva Shakti Samannidam, it's all powerful, because unless you have the power within that Brahma, a creation of the nature of this world, of so much of multiplicity and so much enormous thing, which cannot manasapi, which even with mind you cannot think about it. It is beyond the comprehension of the mind. Such is the vastness of the creation. Therefore, it is all powerful. So that is why the Brahma is being mentioned here. Brahma shabdasya hi vyutpadyamanaha nityashuddhattvadayoho artha pratiyante brihato dhatoho artha anugamad. Here he is saying that the Brahman is existing as a entity, nitya shuddha buddha mukta svabhava sarva shakti samannidam, but we know a general nature of Brahman, but we do not have a direct knowledge of Brahman, pratyaksha pramana or aparoksha pramana, aparoksha jnanam or pratyaksha jnanam. What is Brahma is not known. We can see only the effect. By seeing the ornaments, we can say it is made of gold, but doesn't mean that we know what is gold, right? The nature of gold we not know, whether it is 99.9 or whether 98 or whatever may be the purity, we don't know unless we investigate into it. Same way, we need to know the whole world with its multiplicity and the multifarious nature of it. If that is, each one of them has to be understood, it will not be possible. Therefore, we know that Brahma is the primordial cause from which the whole world has come into it. Therefore, to know that Brahma is easier rather than individually knowing each of the items in the world. Brahma shabdasya tu vyutpadyamanaha nityashuddhastvadayoho arthaha pratiyante. For the very derivation of the word Brahman, the ideas of eternity, purity, etc. become obvious. This is where from the root brahmhate dhatoho. Brahm dhatu is the root. Brahm means expands, or something which can expand into everything. Is the root in which the word Brahma is in. Brihatvad Brahma. Therefore, that is the one which is the largest, or which encompasses everything. That is the way in which artha anugamad, that is the word meaning of the word Brahm dhatu, from which the word Brahma comes. Sarvasya atmatvacha brahma astitva prasitihi. Sarvasya, besides, not only that, we know that it is Brihat, means every atom has Brahma as the cause for it. Therefore, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Svabhava Sarvajna Sarvashaktiman, all those things we know about it, but we do not know what is Brahma, except that it is coming out of a word called Brahm from the root, which makes it be that it is that what each encompasses everything. Therefore, we also now have to bring in a logic saying that Sarvasya atmatvacha Brahma astitva prasidi. Brahma asti. Every object in the world, there is an Atma. Here is what we have to be very careful. technically we all feel that the life principle in every object, living beings, is only what is called Atma. That is not the case. We have to understand astitva prasiddhi. Asti means am, is, that existence aspect in every object. It is, that is, or I am, he is, she is. And all these places the word is, am is the word used, which is to exhibit the existence aspect of it. And whenever anybody is making that statement, it cannot exist without a atmatva, means there is a self in it because of which it is existing. The existence itself is the self. Suppose if I am saying a stone is, the stone has a self in it because of which I am saying the stone is. Not because the stone doesn't exhibit life, I am not saying the life, there is no Atma in the stone. No, you cannot say that way. Astitva prasiddhi. There is that aspect of existence. An atom is, Andromeda is existing in the sky. Or the difference between an atom existing and an Andromeda or a Milky Way existing, there is no difference in the existing. The existence aspect, both of them are same. That is what is called the Atma, as per the Siddhanta, as per our philosophy. We say that anything has to have Atma, which is exhibiting the nature of existence, because Atma is there, then it has to exist. The one which doesn't have Atma can never be existing. It has no existence. So the existence and Atma is one and the same. So, and it is there in every molecule or every atom or every quark or every Higgs boson or whatever the name you want to call it, that minutest of the minutest to the vastest of the vast. The existence aspect is what we cannot deny it. And when we are accepting that existence aspect, that is what is called the Atma or the Sthiti. So when we say I am, each one of us say I am, actually we are not saying that the pulsating life in us, which is what is Atma. It is the very feeling that I am there, is irrespective of what my size and shape and age and location and sex and nature and color and experiences. In spite of all these things which are changing, the existence of mind, that I am, is one which doesn't go through a change. And that is the same case for everything. If it is happening to me, it is there for you, it is there for animals, it is there for trees, it is there for stones, it is there for atoms, it is there for Milky Way, or it is there for every object in the cosmos. So that is the prasiddhi, that is the one which is well known, because everything says I am or I exist. That existence is the nature in which the self exhibits in everything. Sarvam hi atmastistvam pratyeti na ahamasmi iti. Everything, sarvo hi atmastitvam, atmastitvam, atmanah astitvam. The nature of existence is through Atma, by the statement that I exist, he exists, she exists, he said, and nobody says that I do not exist at any point of time. You can say I was not there, or I was not knowing, or I did not taste it, I did not see it, all those things, but I have to be there even to deny anything. I have to be existing even to deny. Forget about accepting the existence of other things. Even to deny the existence of anything, I need to be existing to deny some other existence. So nahamasmi iti, that is never uttered by anything in the world. So what is common in all the objects which is there from the experiences? Existence in the form of what we call it as atma. Yadi na atma astitva prasiddhi syat. Suppose now let us say that if it is not there, sarvo lokaha nahamasmiti pratiyat, then I am not there should be, I do not exist, should be the experience of people at some point of time, if it is coming and going. So the word nitya in the definition of Brahma is because of this existence, self-existence is there irrespective of the size or the nature of the object. They were all names and forms, but all of them have got one thing which is called is that their own self-existence, or what is called the atmatva. Now the opponent says, yadi tarhi loke brahma atmatvena prasiddham asti tato jnatam eva iti jitnyasitavyam punarapannam. What does it say? Yadi, if Brahman is well known in the world as self, then it is already been known. There arises the difficulty again that it need not be known to it. There is nobody who says that I do not know, I am, I exist. That is what is being said. Atmatvena prasiddhihi, Brahma atmatvena prasiddham asti. This Atma, which is there in every one of us, is known to us. So why should there be a desire to know that Atma? Jnatam eva ati, jnavam eva ati iti jitnyasitavyam punarapannam. Why should there be a desire to know a known thing? Can anybody say that I do not know myself? You know that you exist. I am is a very experience of all of the beings, those who are sentient. For the insentient, we cannot say, because whether they are experiencing or not experiencing, we cannot say it, because they do not exhibit anything of that nature. But from extrapolating, when I do not exhibit anything, when I am sitting without any exhibiting of any of things, I exist is a feeling given by everybody. Same way, the objects also should be existing there. They also, but they do not have instruments to exhibit it. Doesn't mean that they do not experience through the existence of their own. That there is there. Therefore, it is prasiddham, means well known to even those stones and inanimate things, to the animate things and everything, that their own self-existence is known. Therefore, Brahma is already known. Why should there be a jitnyasa, desire to know that Brahma? Is a question which is the opponent is asking. Not tad vishesham prati vipradipatte. No, it is not that. There is a conflict about this distinctive nature. Vishesham prati. What is that special distinctive nature of that Brahma, or my nature, my swabhava, my nature of existence? What is that vishesham? That is not known. It is not that generally everybody is saying, knows that they exist. Nobody has any doubt on that. But what is that existence is not known to anyone. I am, everybody says I am. There is nobody who cannot say I am. But what do you mean by I am? Or when you say he is, what is to that in him which makes you say he is? It is not his body. It is not his mind or intellect or the way in which he is behaving. But there is something which is existing, on which the body, the mind, the intellect, the nature, the color, the creed, the age, the location, everything is attributed. So Vishesha, what is that special nature of that asti, that I am or he is not known. Deha matram chaitanya vishishtam atmeti prakrita jana lokayitascha pratipanna. Now he is going into the existing people who are all talking about Atma with whatever definitions they had given. Deha matram chaitanya vishishtam atmeti. Deha matram. Lokayita means ordinary people. That is those who are not philosophically minded at all. Deha matram chaitanya vishishtam. This body which has a chaitanyam or chetana or life in it is what Atma. And when this body is dead, Atma is gone. So Atma is lost from the body is what they think. That is what the Lokayita means, most commonly known. Ayata, Lokam, Ayata means most pervaded knowledge in the whole world. It includes literate, illiterate, and those who do not philosophically think. All of them are Prakrita, means by nature. Or you can say they are also people who are not cultured or not cultured. You can't use the word culture. They are prakrita, means very elementary in their thinking. Lokayata is a school also which is called the Charvaka, Charuvak. The most desirable word when somebody speaks, it is called Charuvak. And from that it is the word Charvaka comes, who speaks beautifully, that all that is there is this very moment. Eat, enjoy, live like what a king when you are alive and enjoy the whole thing. This body is what is all is that. You do not know what happens later. You do not know where you came from. There is nobody who has come, or there is nobody who is going anywhere. All that is these experiences here now, this only. Live merrily, enjoy merrily and die merrily is what they say. That is why they are called Lokayata or Charvaka, because they do not have anything beyond this very moment of enjoyment. Indriyani eva chetanani atma ityapare manaha ityanyeda. Then there are other schools which are talking about indriyani, from the body, external pole. Some people have thought slightly finer than. They say no, only if the enjoyment can happen only when I have the sense organs and all. So the sense organ must be superior to the body. The body becomes useless if I don't have taste, or I don't have eyesight, or I don't have the ears. I cannot enjoy the world. So it is mandatory that I should be having these things. So there are some people who are talking about the sense organs as the Atma by some people. Some people have gone further. Mana ityanye. The mind should be there, because the Indriyas cannot function if the mind is not functioning. So the mind and the Indriyas together, there are some set of philosophers who say that it is the mind what is Atma. In the mind is the I what is there. The ego is in the mind. Therefore the Atma is in the mind. So mind eva, mana iti anye. That is one set of philosophers who think that not the Charvaka type of people who are the body consistent, nor the people who are on the sense organs of Indriyas. Mind is the superior most, so therefore the mind is Atma. Then Vijnana matram kshanigam ityeke. Then this comes to the later Kshanika Vijnanavadins of Buddha, followers of Buddha. They say that it is the knowledge of momentary experiences in the mind which comes and goes. That is what is Atma. There is nothing which is everlasting, going, permanent and everything. It is the momentary knowledge. It comes and experience goes. Another object, experience comes and goes. This way it is Kshanika matram, Vijnana matram. Then when you are knowing that the objects exist, you exist. You do not know yourself, as an object, you don't also exist. And that is what happens when you die. Is that some sort of school? Shunyam ityapare. And this is the Shunyavadins. They say that Shunya or void is the what is called the Brahma or Atma. Because they don't see anything which is the cause for it. So they say that from nothingness the whole world came. Because the world was not existing before, there was nothingness, shunyata only. From shunyata, from nothingness, the world came. But that is not possible. But if that is nothing is the possible, a pot should be made from nothing, a house can be made from nothing, a human being can be made from nothing. Everything has to be made from nothing. So something, when it is made out of something else, this Shunyavada doesn't stand whole good. Asti deha vyatiriktah samsari karma bhokta ityapare. Aparaha means other people is that dehadi vyatirikta samsari karta. Beyond the samsari body, the samsari means the one who goes through the pain and pleasure of the body. Different from that, vyatirikta, different, separate from that, there is a karta, there is a doer, or there is a agent who works for creating the experiences through the body, and he is the one who is enjoying also. He creates through the body the activities, and the fruits of those activities also is enjoyed by that person, that entity which is beyond the body or apart from the body, but uses the body as an instrument. Dehadi vyatirikta samsari karta bhokta ityavare. Bhoktaiva kevalam na kartetyeke. Some say that the soul is mere an experiencer, right? So it is neither an agent, it is just a knower of things. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't enjoy anything, it just knows anything, just like seeing. Now these are different schools of philosophies which were existing during Shankaracharya's time, but that is why he is referring to them with it. Asti tad ubhaya atirikta ishvara sarvajna sarvashaktiriti kechit. Now some people are accepting. Now if you look at to the ancient Indian philosophies, there will be only handful of philosophies which are accepting Ishvara or the God as a reason for the whole thing. Most of them were non-believers of God, whether Sankhya, Nyaya Vaisheshika, Charvaka, Buddha, Jaina. You take all of them, none of them believe in God. Even the Sankhyas, only the later Sankhyas, Ishvara Krishna is the one who brought in, that is why he is called also Ishvara Krishna. His name is Krishna, who modified the Kapila's Sankhya Shastra by including Ishvara into the Sankhya system. So Sankhya, Seshvara Sankhya is brought by that Krishna, who is called as Seshvara Krishna. Same way, Nyaya Vaishashika doesn't talk about Ishvara. They don't talk about Ishvara till the Udayanacharya came, and Udayanacharya is the one who introduced Ishvara into the Nyaya Vaisheshika system. If you look at the Gautama and Kanada, all of them, none of them have accepted Ishvara or the God as a requirement for the world and for existence and continuation and dissolution. They say it is by nature it happens. We don't need a God for this purpose. So they did not accept. So, but later, after the Ishvara Krishna and even the Mimamsa for that matter, those who are in the yagas, yajnas, yaga and so on thing, they don't talk about Ishvara. They talk about Swarga Kamo Yajeta. They don't talk about the Swarga and the different lokas. but nobody mentioned about Ishvara until a later Prabhakara Guru. He is called a Prabhakara Guru, who brought in Ishvara into the Mimamsa. So he is called a Guru. Udayan is called a Udayan Acharya because he brought in the Ishvara system into the Nyaya Vaisheshika. And Krishna, who brought in the Ishvara into the Sankhya, he is called Ishvara Krishna. So Ishvara Krishna, Prabhakara Guru, Udayanacharya are the three people who brought in the concept of Ishvara into the systems of Mimamsa, Nyaya Vaisheshika and Sankhya. Thereafter the Ishvara principle is being followed by them. So what they say, Tad Vyatirikta Ishvara Sarvajna Sarvashaktihi iti kechit. Those people who now brought in Ishvara into the system of philosophy, they say that there is an Ishvara which is Sarvajnaha, who is a knower of everything, Sarvashakti. He has all the power, and they assumed that he is a god, and he is called that it is Vyatirikta, is separate from the creation. He is not seen in the creation, neither through Vyanyasa, Sankhya, Mimamsa or Nyaya Vaisheshika. The Ishvara is not in the world. It is separate from the world, who is creator of all those things. Atma sa bhokta ityavare. Now some people say that Atma is mere enjoyer of experiences and he is nothing, nor Ishvara, nothing. There is some philosophers school of that which is saying that he is just a individual who is experiencing all those things. Evam bahava vipratipannaha yuktivakya tadabhasa samashrayaha santaha. So there are, depending upon the different logic in which these people are proposing, there are bahavaha vipratipannaha. There are different schools or different people who are following the opposite views of it. Tatra vicharya yat kinchit pratipadyamanaha nishreyasat pratihanyate anartha cheyat. If one is to accept any of these things without examination, pratipadyamana, apratipadyamana, if he is without examination, what will happen is he will be deflected from the emancipation of group. As per the Shruti Vakya, if you are told to follow the Shruti Vakya, if you are not as per the following the Upanishad Vakyas or Brahma Sutra or Gita Vakya, you will not be able to come out of the clutches of samsara, because all those things which are there brought, the dependency is on somebody else. You cannot free yourself from the problems. You are dependent upon somebody else or something else for freeing yourself from the problems of life. Whereas tasmat brahma jitnyasa upanyasa mukhena, only through the deliberation of the brahma jitnyasa, by desiring to know Brahman, Vedanta Vakya Mimamsa tad virodi tarka apakarana nishreyasa prayojanaha prasuyate. Only tasmad brahma jitnyasa upanyasa mukhena, through the deliberation and the logic and understanding what is Brahma, knowing Brahma, because Brahma is what? Is not, we are talking Brahma is Ishvara. No. Yes, yatova imani bhutani jayante. All the creations is coming from Brahma, in which they exist, into which it dissolves. Tadeva brahmatvam vijna. And Brahma vidapnodi param. And one who knows Brahma, you pervade. The one who knows Brahma is pervading everything in the Brahma. Only by doing that, Vedanta Vakya Mimamsa. That is, the Vedanta Vakya means Shruti Vakya or Upanishad Vakya. Mimamsa means study, detailed study. Tad virodita tat virodhi tarka upakarana, and by analyzing and opposing views, when you remove it, what happens is that when you know Brahma by the Shruti Vakya, but what happens is that even when we hear the Shruti Vakya from the Brahma Sutra or Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad, we know Brahma as what it is mentioned in the Shruti Vakya, but that does not remove the samshaya viparyaya from our mind. That is the doubts and the opposing knowledge which can come, that which makes us a effort to be made to remove these problems which can come and cloud our understanding of what is Brahma. For that we need to Vedanta Vakya Mimamsa. I mean studying of the Vedanta Vakyas, but not only that, Viroda Tarka, or what are things which can be opposing those statements of the Upanishads also should be studied. Only when you study the opposing views, your knowledge becomes established or more concentrated and concrete for your Nishreyasa Prayojana. That is the time when you will be knowing what is your true nature, and that is what is being the nature of emancipation which will come to us. Therefore Brahma Jitnyasitavya has been established. This is the first sutra which we are saying why the need for knowing the Brahma is important is being completed in the first sutra. That completes the first sutra. Next is the Janmadhya Adhikaranam, is what we are talking about, the how does the creation take place in the next sutra. Any questions?
Not a question, Mahodaya. Just wanted to say that Atmatvena Prasiddhihi, that existence indicates Brahman. So I just found that very good way to remember, because something that is not always thought about, that when am, is, or anything is said, the existence itself should indicate that there is Brahman.
Right.
And
see, there is a famous shloka for that. Ahamasmi sadabhami kadachit naham apriyaha brahmaivaha matasiddham sachidananda lakshanam. Ahamasmi sadabhami. I am is always shining. Aham asmi, I am. Sadabhami, always shining. The nature I am is always shining. Kadachit naham apriyaha. So aham asmi is sat. Okay. Kadachit naham apriya. I can never hate myself. Whatever may be the situation, even the person who commits suicide is because he likes himself more rather than the situation from which he wants to escape. So aham is the most desirable thing. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. So therefore I am the most desired to me. I do anything in the world because I love myself. Therefore I am the most desirable. I am as an existence. Now I am the most desirable or the most loved thing, or which is the source of happiness for me. Aham asmi sadavami. Kadachit naham apriyaha. Therefore I am never going to do anything which is against myself. Aham asmi sadavami kadachit naham apriyaha. Brahma eva atasiddham. Therefore it is established that I am Brahma. Brahma eva atasiddham. What in what form? Sat chit ananda lakshanam. Aham asmi sat. Sadabhami chit. Always shining. I am there. Kadachit naham apriyaha. So ananda. Apriyaha means ananda. So asmi bhati asti badi priyam roopam. This is the way in which it is saying that established. So whenever say astitvam, you cannot take astitvam alone. Aham asmi, when you say I am, it implies that I am the most desired because I am there, therefore I come first, and I am there is always known to me, therefore I am knowledge, and everything is desired because I love myself. The love for myself is the reason why I love my family, I love my country, I love my money, I love my everything, is because I love myself. That is not understood by many people. They think that they love their family, they love the children, they love their animals, or they love the world, they love the society, all those things, because they get the happiness out of it. Through the love they get the happiness. That is why, the reason why people, not knowing the nature of their true nature, they think that it is on the objects outside and run after the objects of the world outside.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I do have a question on that one. I understand that the love is the eternal nature because everything is Brahman. So that is how, when we have love for someone or something, that is where it's coming from. And without realizing, we think that it's coming from us. But what you are saying, I'm never apriya to myself. There are a lot of people. I see. I understand what you're saying there. It's on a deeper level that you're saying that. But I guess that is the answer to the question I'm going to ask also. That there are people who do hate themselves to the point that they think that everyone else is better than themselves, and there is nothing in them that is worthy. What do you say to that?
When they say they are not worthy of anything, is because they, not knowing what is their worthiness, they see that others things are worthy. It is just like somebody having like loving for money outside. Somebody, I don't have enough money. What does it mean? That I don't have enough money, so I need more money. Is that wealth is a desirable thing. So whether the worthiness is also a nature of acquired object, that acquiring is coming from a lack of feeling that I am not full. Why does that feeling, lack of fullness comes? Is because you are not seeing yourself. That is where the ignorance is covering this. We are all Satchidananda Lakshanam. Why are we not knowing it? Why are we not experiencing it? Even though we are that, we are not experiencing it because we are covered with a false identity, avidya. The identity is on anything other than that.
So these people are seeing it in others but not in themselves.
Yes.
So they are still seeing Brahman in it without knowing, but just it's directed outward, not inward.
Right. So if you want to know, study the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, the best of the best and the worst of the worst, I am that in anyone. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
What does it mean? There is nothing called best and worst. It is our making. Right. From his point of view, there is nothing best and worst.
Yeah. That's what he means. That's what is meant there, because we give all the attributes. So everything there is Brahman. So that way there is nothing other than Brahman. So one more thing, Modaya. This Shunyavadins, they say, I was just wondering, so it is when only Brahman alone exists, there is nothing else. But for Advaita, it is because everything is in Brahman. It's not being displayed or projected, or however we want to say that. So, but Shunyavadis, they don't accept that everything is Brahman, is it?
See, there is a to Shunyavadins, the earlier Shunyavadins did not get into the details. But the later Shunyavadins, having taken up with argument with Vedantins and Advaitins and all, they understood that their Shunya, what they were talking with their earlier masters were talking, would have been the same Brahma, what is, because it is Nirguna, Nirakara, all those things means what? You cannot pinpoint or tell anything what it is, no? So it is a Shunyatvam what they are talking about. Maybe, so they have slightly changed their tone. The Shunya what they are talking about may look like it is what they are talking about Brahma only.
Because in one way you can say Shunya, that state, or not that state,
yes,
which is what always is.
It is just like in the deep sleep you say you are Shunya.
Yes.
There is nothing, right? But Advaitin says that even in the deep sleep, were you there or not?
Okay, so for Advaitin, that way it is not Shunya, because I am always there.
Yes, Ahamasti Sadabhami.
Shunyavadis think there is not even an I there. Is that what they're saying?
No, they didn't get into that I there. Who knows the Shunyatva?
Okay.
See, to know it is Shunya, there should be somebody know. Who knows Shunyam? The one who knows Shunyam defeats the definition of Shunyam, because he cannot be there, right?
Yes, yeah. So their Shunyatvam is excluding someone who would know that there is Shunyatvam.
Yeah, that is why the later Shunyavadins have modified their definition of Shunya to saying Nirguna, Nirakara and all those aspects of Brahma, which is attributeless state, Nirguna Brahma. But they don't use the word Brahma there, they still use Shunya.
Okay. And what you said about Ishvara was brought in later in Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya and all that. What was the purpose?
The purpose, we cannot say what was the purpose. They felt that, a sort of devotion to a higher power will make the society more moral.
Yeah, Bhakti always does. Bhakti.
Yes,
okay.
So to bring in the morality, they brought in that Ishvara into the system.
Yeah. That is why Advaita is so hard to get people to understand, I guess, or follow.
Yeah, see, the thing is that people also have got different ideas about Advaita. They think that Advaita talks about Nirishwaravada, the atheistic way of the reality.
Yes.
But if you study the second mantra, which we are going to take, second sutra, Janmadhyasya Yadaha, we will understand that how do we Advaitins place Ishvara in the whole picture.
Not as a separate entity, right?
Jivo Brahmaiva Napara is one statement when we say that the Jiva Ishvara Jagat, the Triputi, when we take the three things, the Ishvara Jiva Jagat, the Jivo Brahmaiva Napara, the Jiva and Jagat becomes the Brahma. Right? Ito va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat praveshya visham vishanti tadeva Brahma. So from which the whole world comes, in which the whole world exists, into which the whole world merges back. Right? That is, if it is called a Brahma, the Jagat, including of the Jiva, has to be the Brahma.
Yes.
The Sarvam Khalidam Brahma becomes a reality then. Right? So Ishvara is not separate from Brahma, and the Jiva and Jagat and Brahma are not different, because the ornaments are not different from the gold, right?
Yes, but that is still different from. I think that bhakti is very appealing to have, to and then to have
Your
it.
voice is breaking. I think it's only to me. Or...
Okay. Is it no?
I don't know whether it is to me alone. Others are also getting the voice break.
So it's breaking for us also.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
It is break. Okay.
now
Not
it's
sure
better.
why. Okay. For me, it is clear, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Now it's okay.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that yes, it's just easier and more appealing to have Ishvara. That is why. Yeah, like you said, that is why it Ishvara was brought into the Sankhya and other schools of philosophy, where even though they started without Ishvara before, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. This breaking of this voice in the applications like video conference call or a phone call and all for iPhone is a very big problem. When you are doing that, if any push message comes in WhatsApp, Telegram, or any other app you have, that disturbs the audio quality of the iPhone. This is the only problem for the iPhone.
Oh.
So you might have got some WhatsApp message during this time when your voice was breaking. You may not be aware of it.
Oh, I did not know that. This happens in classes that and it doesn't happen to everyone, so we won't even know that. Sometimes the teacher can be heard by some students and not others, and some students are not heard specifically by teacher, something like that. Something like that.
I have observed that and found out the problem, but Apple is not willing to correct it.
Okay. Hopefully they will. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Yash, Revati, Lata, Atmishya.
Yes, that Shashti Parigrahe Sutrena, that's only grammar part or anything?
It's only grammar part.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we will meet next Tuesday. I may or may not have the class, but I'll let you know by my notification. Okay, so I'll keep you updated on that. Okay, let us. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you.